Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. This is Mukami, the environmentalist. Today, first thing I want to do is to welcome the new people here. If you're new here, welcome. Subscribe to my channel. Click on the subscription button down there, and then you're subscribed to my channel. Today, I want to give you a little history of environmental law. So I want us to see from where we came so that we can be able to understand the today's laws that we have. We can be able to understand the functions of agencies and organizations that deal with enforcement of environmental law. A good example is NEMA, National Environment Management Authority, NEMA. So as early as 1960s, people had started feeling the effect of environmental degradation. Remember then, so many countries were developing. So they had really used the environment. They had utilized the environment in the best way they could. So now, due to environmental degradation, due to pollution, now people had started feeling the effects. People had started feeling now the effects that came from environmental degradation, environmental pollution. You see, industrialization comes with setting up of industries, so there's emission into the soil, emission into the air, emission into the water. So the environment, in one way or another, is usually polluted. So there are so many things that come about by pollution. For example, there are diseases that will arise, the droughts will come by, the floods will come. You find even in the industrial world, there are effects that are brought about by pollution. So by then, people had realized, and now countries were starting to feel, economically, you feel the effects of pollution. So now then, there was the need. By then, there's an organization that was called United Nations Industrial Development Organization. So this body formed a General Assembly. So when this body was formed in 1965, the main aim was to listen to the outcry of different countries due to pollution of oceans. The oceans had been polluted. The forest had been degraded. So now this United Nations formed a General Assembly. And this General Assembly, of course, now came up with an organ of itself that is called UNEP. Everybody knows UNEP. UNEP, yes. So these UNEP headquarters are, of course, in Kenya, in Gigiri. That is where we have the UNEP headquarters. They are found in Kenya. So the United Nations General Assembly was formed in 1965. The headquarters are usually in Austria, in Vienna. So what they were supposed to do is to form that organ, the UNEP, and now UNEP was supposed to come up with ways to deal with the ways that they can be able to deal with the pollution, the degradation that the countries were experiencing. And what they do, they called for a convention. A convention, this was a meeting, an international meeting that all countries, or most countries in the world were supposed to attend and come up with a way forward on how they were supposed to deal with environmental degradation and pollution that were being experienced. And this happened in 1972. That is when we had the first convention, not like the first, but the first environmental convention that is called the Stockholm Convention. And then after that, we had so many other conventions that came up. You see, during this, the first convention, that is Stockholm Convention, now people realized that human activities were affecting the environment, and of course then people were suffering. So now they came up with ways. We have 26 guidelines that were pinpointed during this meeting. So now it was upon every country to go back home and develop a system of how they were going to conserve the environment. Okay, and remember now here we already have a body called UNEP that is going to assist the countries in the world to come up with ways to minimize the environmental pollution, environmental degradation. So every country has a role to play. Go back home and know how you're going to deal with the problem. Like if there are laws, start coming up with laws, policies. So that is where environmental conservation laws or policies, regulations started. These conventions happen even today. Of course, after 1972, there was one in 1982 that built on what was discussed 10 years ago. That is called the Nairobi Declaration. Then we have another one that was held in 1992 that was called the Rio Declaration or the World Summit. So now these ones, from here now, those are the roots, the foundation of environmental law. So from here and what was discussed in those conventions, a country would go back home and now start aligning their policies in accordance to what has been discussed and passed in the convention. So now that is how we have been able as a country to have an environmental law. We have the principle of environmental law that keeps being rewind, that keeps being revolved as things are continuing, as more challenges are emerging, then we have to keep evolving the laws. So those conventions are still happening until today. They have not stopped their happening, and the countries are still in the process and are already enforcing the environmental laws that have been created. So in the next video, I'm going to tell you then what is the environmental law, the principal environmental laws that we have here in the country. Okay, now you know where these laws come from. It came from people destroying the environment, and now they started feeling the pinch. So then there was need to do something. How did they have to do something? They had to come up with laws and policies. So please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and share with a friend, and if you've not subscribed, subscribe to my channel. So till next time,